And just like in the Oasis map we had last time, no one killed each other. So it's starting to become a theme throughout all of our matches. You know, you gotta kind of take out anyone who's a bit of a threat, and he made himself the very first one. And interestingly enough, we still have Nachos over at the cornucopia still hanging out. Yeah, but the interesting thing is this base isn't as useful as the last one. In the last one, we had all the advantages of the wood being used for the ship, where wood couldn't be found anywhere else. Here, there's nothing particularly special for someone to hold on to. However, aesthetically, it's still very nice. And so it looks like Valzombe is the complete control over the cornucopia at this point. No, but of course, if I were him, I wouldn't be sticking around either. I agree, there's a lot of independence in this game that we haven't seen in previous matches. You know, at this point, I've seen the some of the highest ingenuity for a quick use of any player I've seen thus far. Not to disclose a name or location, but somewhere on the map, there's a player who is using the water and all the pools we have extremely well as his defense mechanism. And as always, we'll be taking your tweets on the Hungercraft Twitter account. Have a question, just send it to us and we'll try to respond to it. it's clearly working out for him right now. Absolutely. I mean, he had access to the best items, and so now if he's lacking food, he can maybe just take it from players who have been working towards food instead of weapons. Getting cut down pretty fast here. It's really interesting. The players are starting to be very careful around these pressure plates. I'm watching the guy with the Donald Duck skin right now very carefully take the pressure plate off and then see what's underneath, and it's working out pretty well for him. He's got a lot of good supplies out of that.
Hello.
All right, we'd like to welcome Kevin, who's going to join us commentating for this match and any others we might have tonight.
How are you guys?
Doing pretty well.
I've been watching the game, and Lol Zombie is a beast. Is it 5 kills now? 6?
Right, and in the chat, I just saw one of the players who was killed by Lol Zombie gave him 4 iron up, and so clearly this strategy is working, and he's just going to grow more and more powerful with each kill.
Well, the other night we were doing practice games, and he was playing then too, and it failed for him because he wasn't able to get food. But if he's lucky and the players have food that he kills, his strategy's pretty good.
Absolutely. And there goes another person killed by Lol Zombie. And at this point, I think he's kind of turning into a comic book villain, and everyone's going to have to team up to beat him.
I'm really looking forward to the RMCT match tomorrow because both him and Floppy Fish are in it, and I think they have the records for the most kills in one game. I think Swag's up there as well, too.
It'll be really interesting to see at the end of the game if Lil Zombies comes out on top just by himself.
I would not be surprised.
He's sprinting like crazy, though. He's wasting hunger.
I think if he's sprinting that much, he probably has some food. I don't think he's stupid enough to just sprint around without any food.
Yeah, I don't want to criticize him or anything, but the way he's going in and attacking, and the way he's sprinting around, it makes me think that he's less of an experienced Minecraft player. But that seemed to be working out very well for him in the fact that, unlike how most players react, he just goes straight in. All the other players are cowering behind, or, trying to stay away from each other, and it's sort of an unspoken treaty. But he's just destroying that and going straight for anyone they can find.
Yeah, I think the real question is whether food was obtainable out of the cornucopia or from other players immediately after. If that's a yes, then he could easily run this game very, very quickly.
I missed in the beginning. Did he go for the cornucopia?
He took control of the entire cornucopia after getting a few kills.
Right, so anything that was in the cornucopia... Yeah. He's in good shape.
I'm watching some other players run around, and they still have wooden items. So, what weapon does he have?
He seems to. Last time I saw him, he had an iron sword, and one of the players in game even said that they had dropped a couple iron when they died. So we know he's well equipped, and he seems very capable of it, of winning this entire game.
But what's interesting is Nightfall, and he's going to have to deal with mobs as well, and he clearly doesn't have any kind of base to go back to at this point.
And that's one of the things that makes me think that maybe he's one of the less experienced Minecraft players. But again, if he stays out at night and he has enough food and actually does well, he could get some really good items to even craft a bow from all the spider string he can get.
Or get a wolf.
Yeah, I think he's done well enough at this point. We know he's not an inexperienced player, but how well he handles this nighttime will show how good of a player he really is.
Jord Tour died.
Yeah, it looks like Lol Zombies is
Oh,
killing
he's
the
going
guy
after the
that...
person.
Lol Zombies is...
another kill.
Another kill.
There goes another one.
What is this?
It's a
I think
troll
we'll
face.
probably have a new kill record at the end of this game.
I think Lol Zombie's face on his Minecraft character pretty much represents all that he's doing in this game.
It really does. It really does. So we're down to 10 players, I believe?
It's 10 players before the second day. That's really, really unusually fast.
9 players.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that all these players are dying during the night because it seems like in the past games, most of the time, players try to hunker down and, they may kill a few mobs, but they try to really be careful at night.
I think at this point they're afraid of Lol Zombie coming in and killing them during the night.
That is a really good point.
Just imagine, you don't get to see any chat when you're a combatant, and all you see is death after death from Lol Zombie.
I would be very, very afraid.
Me too.
And, a few of the chunks in my client seem to not be loading, but it does seem like there are quite a few mobs outside, and I did see that I think it was the last player that's actually died from a spider, and that's something that players really can't afford, especially this late in the game, is that miscellaneous monster damage.
Absolutely. At this point, people need to be smart enough to avoid the mobs. I mean, they made it this far. They don't want to lose for a silly reason. But of course, if we look back at the ocean islands we had in the last map, the mobs are much, much more spread out. And that might be giving players a false sense of confidence when they don't see hordes and hordes of mobs outside as soon as they look out.
But they have to take into account that this is on the hardest, it's above the hardest difficulty that you can get on normal Minecraft. You take a lot of damage from one zombie hit. So one monster alone could take someone out if they're not experienced in PvP, or PvE actually.
Or just not paying attention.
That too. And if you're not sprinting, spiders are faster than you are and they'll catch you. So being out at night is very risky unless you have a specific goal in mind, like killing a specific player or you need food really badly. Otherwise, I'd recommend staying underground or hidden in a tree or something.
Absolutely, and I haven't seen a kill from Lol Zombie in a while, so maybe he's gotten smart and gone to bed for the night.
Yeah, I'm watching him right now. He's actually, I think he's trying to gather some iron and get some armor.
Yeah, this is something I'd like to address from the subreddit, is that, players were talking about how our sanity mod works and how, going underground can really kill you. But I have also seen players in past games not necessarily abuse the system, but they set up smart mines where they had easy access to the surface, and there are ways that you can actually go down and effectively mine even with the sanity mod on, and that could, whether it be, confuse someone with all of your mine shafts or, just get iron ore, it can really be effective in long game at least, not necessarily a short game.
Absolutely, and as far as short game goes, these cliff faces that make the ponds are actually very helpful. I've seen numerous players being able to go to the bottom of the cliff and find iron because the ponds are so deep in the land.
We specifically made this map to have very scarce iron resources. If they ever find like a vein of iron, there'll only be like 1 or 2 pieces at most.
That's just kind of mean.
Yeah.
That's definitely in contrast to some of the other maps, but I think that's something that really makes Hungercraft unique, is that its variety of maps and variety of types of gameplay that it can inspire throughout the game based on what sort of arena that you're playing in is just really unique.
Right, and even in each arena we can change the game pace really easily. Like, say we had a ton of iron, we could make this game even faster than it already is.
Like last night's practice game, it was full diamond armor, and it was a very different game style than what this is. It truly comes down to whatever the admins want or the game makers want.
We're all up to the will of the game makers, and that's a scary thought.
And I suppose we should address this since some of the players are talking about it in game. But assuming that we are having a next match, I also assume that we'd be setting up some sort of poll, because that's sort of a tradition on our streams, so we can allow the players to vote on which map they want to play on next.
I think we should let the poor guy who got killed by a spider choose.
I feel so sorry for him. Although it was probably his fault, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
It probably was.
I have no doubt that it was his fault. But I still feel bad for him.
What was his name?
I have no idea.
Sad Panda is what I would call him.
His name was Sad Panda, I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. I would be a sad panda right now. Yeah, I think we should make it a formal rule that whoever has the most humiliating death in a single game gets to choose the next map. I.e., falling off a boat and dying.
Okay, I'm gonna find out who this person who died from the spider is. Actually, hold on, let me look at the server log.
B17GF. It was him who died from the spider, apparently. Everybody clap for him, for he is a jolly good loser. Fellow.
I think for simplicity's sake, we'll call him Sad Panda.
Sad Panda, I mean, that's a cute pet name. I would agree, yes.
That name's just too complicated.
I'm gonna be checking out Lol Zombie again. I'm really wondering where he is because he seemed to be completely fearless before this.
Oh, he chose the jungle map. Looks like we'll be playing the jungle map next game.
It looks like Lol Zombie. Oh. B Joe for the win blew up, which probably means he stepped on a pressure plate. He was not lucky enough to find a false positive. And it looks like the admins, the game makers, have spawned some stuff in the cornucopia, which is going to be interesting because, right.
So I think we can definitely expect Lol Zombie there.
Yeah, you can definitely expect him there because he took advantage of it early on in the game. But it's always interesting to see, game makers add items right at the beginning of dawn because everyone's already dug into their little holes for the evening.
Do you remember one of the practice games? It was the one when the development team played as well, and they built an entire base from the cornucopia.
Yes, we were talking about that earlier, and it was interesting.
Oh wait, hold on 1 second. I was about to watch someone get killed by a creeper that they did not know was there, and it was going to destroy all the cornucopia.
Oh, Lol Zombie has a
But
chest
never mind.
and feet of iron. Boots of iron.
That's all. I expect more from him.
Well, looks like somebody just pillaged the cornucopia. Actually, I'm assuming it was from the
Absolutely, and I
cornucopia.
was watching, and that is if he stops running away so fast. Well, I see Bruno the Miner over here has full iron.
Was that placed in the cornucopia?
I believe
I'm
that
not
there was
sure.
some sort of iron placed in the cornucopia.
Yeah, it was Aaron Gore something or other. I can't really pronounce the name.
Aragorn Sky
Yes.
something. Good guy.
So he was up in the cornucopia, and he almost got killed by a creeper, but noticed it right at the last second.
So who are you betting on this game that you think will win?
Well, I was betting on Lol Zombie at first, but I just saw Bruno the Miner with full armor, so I'm kind of impressed with him, and I'm going to put my money on.
Mine's still Lol Zombie. I've played games with him before. He's very, very good at PvP. He will be able to take Bruno out if Bruno isn't amazing at PvP, even if he's got less armor.
Oh, it does look
Yeah,
like there are
'cause-
two near the cornucopia that are going to start duking it off.
It's happening. He's already fighting him.
Little zombie is a little too ambitious. Oh, he's
Oh, he's
actually
got the
starting to run
disadvantage.
away.
This could be the end of Wall Zombie.
I don't think he
No,
noticed that he
Little
had
Zombie,
full
run.
iron armor.
Oh, I think Bruno's got him.
Oh, for some reason Little Zombie stopped. Reach hacks.
Oh,
And he's
Little Zombie.
dead.
He stopped to claim hacks, and it bit him in the behind.
Oh, well, that's depressing, but good
Well,
job, Bruno.
apparently Bruno the Miner is amazing at PvP.
He is pretty good at P. That was impressive. Lol Zombie got the first hit, but he still got him.
So now we are down to 6 players. 6 players left on the second day in Hungercraft.
It looks like Bruno's about to go for a team of 2. He's got the upper hand. They don't have any armor.
Any armor or iron at all. I believe those are wood. Oh, iron.
What have they
Okay.
been doing this entire time?
Those might be iron swords, actually.
Oh,
Although they look like stone swords to me.
oh,
And Bruno
the
got
kill.
one.
Right,
Does he
there
see the
goes
other one,
one.
though?
Oh, the second. Oh,
Oh,
Bruno's
doesn't-
running. Oh no, he's got him. Bruno's got this.
Bruno's going.
Bruno got
He
it.
got
Bruno
it.
got
There
a
goes
critical
another
hit.
one.
For a second, I thought Bruno had very little health because he started running away, but no, he's good.
I think it was at first he didn't notice him, and the lag kind of make it look like he was running away, but instead he was just walking casually to his next kill.
Casually.
He probably caught him by surprise.
He's walking casually to his next kill. That's a good way to
People
describe
like
it.
this don't move with intent. They let it come.
They just kill. That's all they do. Looks like Bruno is actually trying to get some TNT. Be very interesting to see play. What we've seen in the past is people place TNT, hit it, and run, and hope that the other person chasing them will be exploded. But I've never actually seen anyone make a TNT cannon before or a chaos cannon. It'd be very interesting for someone to actually use that in the game.
I don't think people have quite enough time in these kind of matches to build something as extensive as a chaos cannon.
Well, it looks like Bruno is taking the approach that our developer team did a few games ago, and is that building up the cornucopia.
It's a smart move. You get protection from all the animals, obviously. You know,
If you
other
properly
players
light it, of course.
yeah. Players can dig through it, but monsters, if he puts a little lip at the top, spiders can't get over.
I'd say not the only, one of the disadvantages is, though, that if for some reason a player sneaks up on him, he's got nowhere to go. He has to dig through an entire wall of dirt in order to try to escape.
This is true.
But to be fair, he does have full iron, so he's probably not going to be running away.
He's pretty prepared. I'll give him that.
I would like to remind everyone to watch our game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're playing, or the past winners of Hungercraft are playing the semifinalists from RMCT's Race for the Wool tournament. It'll be very interesting. It'll be teams of 4. So, 8 teams of 4 will be entering.
And one.
Yeah.
Wow, that guy.
We understand what you're intending to say.
That guy died from starving, which is actually pretty. I don't want to say pretty common, but it's one of the more common deaths on this map. Just because
But
there aren't
I'd
tons
still
of
say
animals.
it's more pathetic than getting killed by the spider.
It's
At least this late in the game.
yeah. I feel like this late in the game, it would give the players even a chance to have some sort of wheat farm. You know, not necessarily huge, but this late in the game, they could have at least grown some sort of wheat. And there are animals on the map, sparse, but there are animals.
I would expect at this point for them to have some at least consistent source of food. I mean, there's plenty of water, so you could at least try fishing.
And the cornucopia has, and the ruins have cobwebs, which you can gather string from and make a bow or a fishing pole.
Or you could just eat string.
Yeah, best food source right there.
That seems like a pretty terrible idea. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And for the next game, we're actually going to go with 50 players instead of 32.
I'm sorry, those 50 players next game?
Yes, 50.
5-0. Everyone hear that? 50 players next
That's
game.
a lot of players.
It's going to be chaos.
$50 players on the jungle map.
50 players on the jungle map, that will be real chaos.
It'll be very exciting if you haven't seen the jungle map. It's very beautiful, and I'd say 50 players is actually a nice sweet spot because it's a very large, dense map.
And that increases our probability of something getting set on fire, which I know we're all looking forward to.
Exactly. One thing I like about that is the cornucopia is so big, light doesn't get through, that monsters don't die in the daytime, so there's always monsters at the cornucopia.
And a lot of times the monsters get bunched up in smaller areas because they kind of trickle out of the trees and stuff. So they end up bunching around these, like, clearings. And if someone wanders into that unawares, they get destroyed. And it's great fun to watch.
We're down to 3 players. Oh, new console command.
Wow, that was a fast
and
response.
Right after the announcement.
Oh wow, Bruno gets that was lucky for him. I don't think that. Oh, that's lucky.
Well, I think that means we're almost certain Bruno the Miner is going to win this game. Let's be honest.
You know, it looks like Sky won't attempt to pronounce the rest of his name, but Sky found someone else's base, and you know, obviously it probably does have diamonds in it, but you know, any amount of supplies is helpful, and I don't think that, you know, if he finds enough supplies, makes a bow of some sort, I don't think it's out of reach to say that he could win this game.
He would definitely have to get the jump on Bruno the Miner pretty well in order to win, but, I mean, it's always possible.
Has he gotten any kills this game? I haven't noticed any.
I don't know if he has. He did get the second wave of cornucopia items.
And I'd like to point out the rather humorous realization that Bruno the Miner had no space for his diamond, so he did not get the gift anyway.
That is
Poor
unfortunate.
Oh. I think he also received just 1 diamond from what the
I think
console
the
says.
admins were just kind of playing with him at that point.
Yeah, he has a big advantage at the moment, so there's no reason. Oh, looks like we might have a fight in a few minutes. No, neither of them see each other. Never mind.
To be honest,
fairly
I only
close
see
to each
one of
other.
them.
Bruno's actually fairly close to him, but neither of them see each other, so
Bruno
they're just
is
gonna walk
back walled in his cornucopia.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. It does actually look like, to me anyways, that Bruno has the... Bruno's going in the right direction with a diamond shovel.
by. Wait, how did he get a diamond shovel?
How did he get a diamond?
I believe
If you
that's-
tell me he actually mined that, I'm gonna
Oh
quit
no,
right now.
I guess he did get the diamond.
I think that was probably the
with that
game
diamond.
maker's sixth sense of humor after realizing that he had a full inventory. But still thought that Bruno should be rewarded some sort of diamond. Oh, and he's killing Sky with a diamond shovel, and he got the
and
kill.
he wins with the diamond shovel.